Hello, welcome to the show. It's me, John Park. It's time for another episode of JP's Product Pick of the Week. So if that's what you're here for, you have made it. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to join in on our chat, we have our Discord server up over at adafruit.it/Discord. Look for the live broadcast chat channel. That's it right there. Hello, everyone, for stopping by. Also, a lot of people over there in the YouTube chat. So hello and thanks for stopping by. Dave Odessa, Sarah Pierce, Johnny Bergdahl, Marie Meyer, Connor McCarter. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by there. If you are somewhere else like Twitch and you're wondering where the chat is, then check out our Discord. That's a good place to come and chat anytime. But during the live stream, you want to check out the live broadcast chat channel. Let's see what else is going on. Grab a sip of water here, because it is hot. It is hot in Southern California yet again. Let's see what else is happening here. We've got a great big huge discount during this show on this week's product pick. You can go right there to that URL or to that QR code, and you will end up on the product page. Inside the product page, you will find this video playing, so you can go watch it from right within there if you like. You can also throw a bunch of this week's product pick in the cart for that 50% off we've got going, maximum of 10 per customer, no coupon code needed. So just throw them in your cart and make sure you hit buy before the end of the show, because we will then pop that price right back up to the usual full retail price. So head on over there. That's the URL you want to go to. 5769 is the product ID number. Before I say any more, let's have Lady Ada tell us about this week's product pick. So please take it away, Lady Ada.
The Audio BFF. So this is a add-on board for STEMMA QT boards. We just showed off the ESP32S3 QT board, and those QT boards are very minimal. We don't add a lot of extra hardware on them because we figured, hey, you can just like plug in little boards on the back. These are BFFs. And we made one that has a micro SD card, and we also made one with an I2S amp. And, you know, I needed for a project something that had both a micro SD card and I2S amps, so we could play audio clips, long ones that were too long to store on the internal flash memory of the S3 chip or the S2 chip. And so this is what I created. It's got a Pico Blade connector for the speaker. It's got a 3-watt I2S amplifier. It's by default, it's 9 dB gain and stereo mix output. And then there's a little Molex micro SD socket. You can plug in up to 64 gigabyte cards and then use Arduino or CircuitPython code. We've got plenty of both to read audio files or any whatever. It doesn't have to be audio files, although that would make sense because then you'd play them through the I2S amplifier and you get really good quality audio, much better than using a DAC. You're going to get, you know, your full 16-bit audio. And then if you really want to, you know, you can, of course, stack another one. I have 2 speakers. So you've got your STEMMA QT, your QT Py board, like this ESP32S3, or you've got the, this is RP2040. And then you're like, okay, but I want to have, you know, micro SD and speaker. You can solder headers onto this. And then what you can actually do is also solder this board directly, but in this case, I put socket headers on it, so I can remove it for live demoing. Okay. Works quite nicely. So you get really nice quality audio. And I prototyped this originally for the Toy Hacker board because I wanted to have something that could play long audio clips, like up to 2 or 3 minutes. And it works very nicely. CircuitPython is what we recommend because we've got the best I2S wave playback support there, but you can also use Arduino or ESP-IDF if you like, or whatever.
Yeah, look at it right there. That is the little bugger. Oh my gosh, it's cute. It really is your best friend. This right here is the product pick of the week this week. It is the Audio BFF. This is for QT Py and Xiao boards, and it gives you both a micro SD card reader and an I2S 3-watt amplifier. So it is perfect for plugging in over its little Pico Blade connector, a small speaker, and playing audio files with this just stuck right onto the belly side of a QT Py. So what I want to do is show you, here's a little demo of one that I've put together. I'll show you this on the overhead in a second, but you can see how just tiny that is. That's the little package right there with the audio BFF and a QT Py RP2040. And you can see I've got a speaker plugged in right over that little Pico Blade connector. So let's go, you know what, in fact, before I go to the overhead on this, I'll give you an audio demo because I can just hold the little microphone up to my lav mic here. And what I've got set up is there's a little micro SD card there with a bunch of audio samples. I actually grabbed some samples from the video game Portal. And then there's the user button here on the RP2040. So what I'm going to do is every time I press that, I'll play one of the WAV files that's sitting right there on the root of that SD card. So here we go. Check it out.
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one. For your own safety and the safety of others, please refrain from you're doing. Please proceed to the welcome
You can start
to
and
test
stop.
chamber. You're doing quite well. Please be careful. Quit now, and cake will be served immediately.
Cake.
For instance, the floor here will kill you. Try to avoid it. Through no fault of the Enrichment Center, you have managed to trap yourself in this room.
So that's just too much fun. I love those audio samples. That's off of the game Portal. But you can see here, it's really fast to play. I can flip through these. Actually, each time I click this, let me go to the overhead now. Now that you've heard those close up, I'm going to switch the view around a little bit, and I'll show you a really cool feature of this that makes it just fantastic for things like props, cosplay, little sound toys, little wearables. What were some other examples I'd come up with that I thought this was helpful for? Like art installations, any little cosplay things. This is a really nice setup because it's so small. And having your sound files on an SD card means that you can swap them out really easily if something changes or if you have a different sound pack you need for something. So first of all, let me show you it with the setup we have right here. So there it is, the Audio BFF, and I'm using some little short feather headers there, or short headers, to plug it into the underside of a QT Py RP2040. There I have grafted one of these nice enclosed speakers. It's a 4 ohm 3 watt speaker onto a little Pico Blade connector wire there. We sell those separately if you want to hook your own speaker up, and then you can just plug it into that little port right there. And then I'm using that user button there. So when I press this,
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center.
okay, so those are all these Portal sound effects. What I can do is take that SD card out, grab a different SD card with different samples. I'm just going to slide that in, and I'm going to reset the code just because I don't have anything in my code that's going to detect that. Maybe that's possible, but in this code I'm just hitting reset. And now I have a totally different set of sound effects. These are like little 8-bit sounds off of freesound.org. So it's nice and loud too. Let me place it up near my lav mic here. You can hear them again. And I think this is at about 0.65 or so, 0.7 volume on the mixer voice that I'm using. So you can use this for, so you can use CircuitPython or Arduino. It works really particularly well in CircuitPython because we have such great wave playback support as well as the audio mixer. If you want to take a look at the code that I've got here, let's switch over to this view for a moment. So this is based on Lady Ada's demo on the main guide page. I'll show you that in a moment. And I just made one small change. Rather than using random, I have it working its way through a sorted list. So it'll, each time I press the button, play the next one in the list. That's the big change there. But otherwise, it's the same as the demo code. So we set up the card chip select, the data, the LR clock, and the B clock for the I2S audio. I am setting up audio bus I/O over I2S audio there with those pins. Then we are using that button that's built on. This code is kind of cool because first thing it does is it just checks for any WAV files on the flash storage built onto the QT So if there are any, you can keep those consistent, always have those available. But then the next thing it's going to do is go and check your SD card. So here we have checking the file system for an SD card. If it's there, we're going to go ahead and mount that, and then we're going to add to our WAV files list any files that are there. I'm also doing a little filtering to get rid of dot files or things that aren't ending in .wav. And then we go and when a button is pressed, we open up a WAV file. So that gets opened that quickly right off of the SD card, which is fantastic. Opens up just the one file there, and it'll even deal with different sample rates between files because we're only opening one at a time. I think I have 16-bit for all of these here. And then the mixer voice you can see here is set at 0.6. When we press the button, we play it, and then we increment our counter so that we can, when it's done playing or when we press again to stop, we can go to the next one in the list. So really simple to use. This is the basic example that you'll find right here. If you go to Adafruit and go to product ID 5769, this is the product page for the Audio BFF, you can go ahead and click on the little Learn Guide link that's right here. You'll usually find these in the lower section of a product page. So if we click on that, you'll see we've got all of the overview info on here. If you scroll down, you can get links to some of the cables that you can use with it, such as this little Molex connector, Pico Blade, the one I'm using right there. Then we can check out the pinout, and this will tell you what pins are used for what. So this one, as Lady Ada said, the amplifier, it's the Max 93, is that 3785? No, 98357 I thought. No, 257A. What the heck is going on here? there's different info everywhere. Oh, I think that's a typo on the silk screen. Yeah, I think it's the 98357. That's funny. So this is a 3-watt amplifier for 4 to 8 ohm speakers. It has a couple of neat features here. One, you can select the gain. So it is by default at a 9 dB gain. There are jumpers on the top there that allow you to change that to a 6 dB gain or a 12 dB gain, depending on your needs, just by soldering that connection or slicing a connection. And you can also use stereo sample files in case that's just more convenient for you. It happens to be what you have. The amp is in a mode where it will take the stereo and mix it down to a single mono channel, which is great, which means if your stereo file had some stuff panned right and some stuff panned left, you won't just only hear the left channel. They actually get sort of summed in the middle there, so it plays those for you. So this will show you how to switch out different pin jumpers if you need to use the pins for something else, as well as setting the gain. And you can also make a different choice as far as stereo mix. That's the default, but you can also say, I just want to play right, I just want to play left channel. And then we have sample code there for using in CircuitPython and Arduino, as well as downloads for the fab files if you want those. Let's see, let me know if there are any questions. Marie Meyer, could you use a PIR to trigger the audio? Yeah, that would be a really great, it's a great idea, really nice use of this type of board. You could use a little PIR sensor, proximity sensor. I can't remember if I think we have some PIR sensors that work over I2C, which makes it really nice and plug and play because we've got that STEMMA QT connector right there, so you could plug in a little sensor board. Any sensor board you want could be based on temperature, humidity, some CO2 sensing. There are light sensors. There are you could use probably a little microphone. So those will all work really well in combination with this board. Another question we have is about MP3s. Yeah, I haven't tried it, but I think there's no reason you couldn't play back MP3s as long as the board you're dealing with has the horsepower for it. I think we can do MP3 playback on the RP2040 without too much trouble. So I don't think that would be a problem. I haven't tried it, so you'll want to maybe dig around a little more before purchasing this for that purpose, but I believe that would work. Let's see, any other questions or thoughts? I think that covers it. OJ Thinkster says, thinking of replacing the guts of a Staples That Was Easy button with this for custom messages. That's a great idea. I love that. I was just testing things out. I happen to have a little Pokeball here, a little Pokemon. It's a coin bank Pokeball. I just took the speaker there. Whoops. See how sturdy this is, and it happened to fit in there pretty well. And now, with my just with my little user button example, we get a pretty easy to set up prop type of effect using that for audio. Since you can use boards like the ESP32, S2, S3, you could do Wi-Fi based things. And it's also possible, depending on your setup, to stack some BFFs with stacking headers. So if you wanted to add a little battery BFF and a LiPo battery to have get rid of the need for the long obnoxious USB cable, that's a possibility as well. So let's see, I think that is going to do it. So let's wrap this up. Don't forget, head on over to product ID 5769 to grab these for just $2.98. This will work, I think, with pretty much any of our QT Py boards. I can't think of any that would have a problem running this. So I love the RP2040. It's a great one to grab, but try it on other boards if you want to. It's one of the reasons I like using the stacking headers, or the little header pins, short headers, so that I can plug and unplug and make different little arrangements. But if you want to, you can also do the straight, solder it straight onto there if you like. All right, that's going to do it for today. Where the heck did it go? It's so small, I'm going to lose it. There we go. Whoa, what's this screen doing here? That is my product pick of the week this week. It is the Audio BFF for QT Py and Zhao with 3-watt I2S amplifier and SD card reader. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park, and this has been JP's product pick of the week. Thanks everyone for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center.